I've always been a huge fan of traditional style heavy metal, but in addition to our regular bands, like Judas Priest and Iron Maiden, whom I dearly love of course, I always had a soft spot for those underground legends, which were tearing up the local heavy metal scenes back in the 1970s and the 1980s.
Yeah, me too.
There's something absolutely unique in those songs, which opens up just a whole new wide world for you as a heavy metal fan. And so I always try to dig out some of those bands and truly get to know more about each of those. And so when a couple of months ago I finally got introduced to this underground heavy and power metal legends called Overlorde, I asked myself only one question: how come I haven't heard of them before? And today those guys finally released their second studio album, Awaken the Fury. Was formed all the way back in 1985, so almost 40 years ago back in New Jersey. And their first 5-song EP was released 2 years later in 1987. And back then that EP received some amazing reviews from Variety, Kerrang, and a lot of other metal giants, as the band was rocking the underground heavy metal scene of the northeast of the United States of America. Yet since then, just like with many other bands of that time, pretty much nothing happened with the band for the next 20 years or so. Until in 2000, the band reformed, reissued their original self-titled EP, and came back with the first full-length album in 2004. Now, one might think that, wow, that's hell long of a wait for a first album to be released, and that is absolutely true. So in order to keep that trademark, the band has waited for almost nearly another 20 years to finally release their second studio album, Awaken the Fury. I'll be honest with you, is one of the most interesting albums I've heard in a long time, and I listen to a lot of new music usually. And here is why. No, on one hand, Overlorde did not reinvent the wheel at all. No, seriously, it is that classic heavy/power metal back from the 1980s, the sound of which you instantly recognize with the very first note. And this is exactly what I liked about it. Now, this is the record which kind of evokes the same feelings as some of those classic underground records from the 1980s evoke when you listen to them today in 2024. And yet at the same time, Overlorde did not thoughtlessly copy their own work from 40 years ago, but are clearly trying to bring a piece of music they played back then into today's world, incorporating some of the new tendencies the genre has developed in the 21st century. In addition, I absolutely love how the guys brought the bass line on the avant-garde of the sound and are doing it in a very Iron Maiden-esque manner, intertwining the bass sound of John Benucci with the guitars of M.E. And I actually am not going to go into the details of each track in this video, just because I believe that most of you guys most likely have not heard the album before. But I just wanted to point out that if you are a fan of this classic 80s heavy metal / American style power metal sound, then you should definitely check out Overlorde if you've never heard of them before, and then come back here and let me know what you guys thought about it. But make sure to keep in mind that this is not exactly the record for the fans of refined sound and spotless production. Awaken the Fury, despite being released in 2023, is raw and true to the origins of the sound bands like Overlorde and their pals were promoting back in the 1980s. cover artwork actually depicts a fight between yellow-blue knights and orcs. You know what I'm talking about here, right? So yes, go ahead and listen to it, and please let me know what you guys thought about Overlorde and whether you would like me to talk more about some underground bands which came out from the 70s and the 80s on this channel. And yes, in case this is your first time on the MP2, this is our second channel, the Metal Pilgrim Show, and most of the reviews and interviews are actually going to appear here from now on. So you should definitely subscribe to it if you haven't yet, and if you guys don't know what Metal Pilgrim is, then you should definitely go and check out the Metal Pilgrim channel as well. But anyways, thank you so much for watching, guys, and we will prevail. Slava Ukraini!